Here in the state of Georgia, our farmers and producers rely heavily on our country's guest worker program known as H-2A. In fact, according to the U.S. Department of Labor, in 2021, Georgia utilized more than 30,000 guest workers, showcasing just how important the program and its workers are to our state's fruit and vegetable production in growing and harvesting high-quality produce.
In fruit and vegetable production in Georgia, we've got over 30 commodities, 30 different crops that we produce, all of which require a lot of intensive hand labor. When you see a Vidalia onion in the store, that onion has been touched and processed by hand multiple times. The same on other crops like cucumbers and zucchini and even peaches and apples. These don't lend themselves well to mechanization or automation, so we've got to have skilled labor out there in the fields that are helping to grow, pick, harvest, and pack these the fresh produce to get in on local grocery store shelves in the quality that we're looking for.
However, the Department of Labor back late last year released a new wage rule for H-2A workers that increased their wages by 14% here in Georgia, a mandate that Butts says producers couldn't have possibly budgeted for and will severely impact fruit and vegetable operations across the state.
We were hit with a 14% wage increase in Georgia. That was the second highest percentage increase in the country. But that took that wage from $11.99 per hour to $13.67 per hour. And it essentially becomes kind of the de facto minimum wage for ag work in that area. No one can plan and budget for a 14% increase year over year. And that far exceeded anything we saw for cost of living adjustments for, let's say, Social Security recipients or consumer price index. It was almost twice that. So saddling Georgia's growers with that increase is going to cost them over $120 million just this year alone, given the number of H-2A workers that we have in the state of Georgia.
Butts says the wage increase comes at a time when producers across the country are already struggling and believes it will just cause even more of our state's fruit and vegetable production to be sent outside of our nation's borders.
So that 14%, as you mentioned, comes on top of record high prices for inputs, everything that the farmer uses to produce and market that crop, from the diesel in his tractor to chemicals to packaging. We've seen huge increases over the last couple of years, and now we throw that 14% pay rate increase on top of that. In our estimation, the only recourse a grower has is to use fewer laborers. They're not going to be able to afford to bring as many workers as they have in the past. What does that mean? That's going to mean less production in Georgia. And ironically, as we continue to battle imports and cheap produce coming across our borders from Mexico and others, I think this will ultimately drive more production south of the border to foreign countries as in response to, the AWARE is supposed to be there to protect the wages of domestic workers. We don't have those domestic workers. So in an effort to protect a worker that doesn't exist, we may end up sending more of the production of our food to foreign countries.
The new rule went into effect at the end of March. However, there's currently bipartisan legislation being led by Senators Ossoff and Tillis that would reverse the wage increase through the end of 2023. A measure Butts says is a step in the right direction. Reporting for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.